Welcome back to Greg's Preaching Right Division. So the Bible, word for word, says there are two churches in the Bible. In Romans 16:4, it talks about the churches of the Gentiles, plural, like Ephesus, Colossae, Philippians, Gentiles. And then in Galatians 1:22, it talks about the churches of Judea, plural. In Acts, it says Moses hasn't preached in every city. Every city is preaching Moses, okay? That's what it says in the book of Acts. Every single city on the planet is preaching Moses. It's in the synagogues. The main place they preach Moses is in Jerusalem, in the temple, when it was around. So in Acts 21, it shows the two churches and how they're different. So in Acts 18, James and all the elders are present. It says, in 19, Paul's showing them what God is doing with Paul among the Gentiles. And in verse 20, it says, all the Jews that believe are zealous of the law. It's not talking about the Gentile churches or the Gentiles. It says all the Jews that believe in Jesus are zealous of the law. They circumcise their children and walk after the customs of Moses. I'll show you. Verse 21, Paul's teaching the Jews among the Gentiles to forsake Moses. Don't even circumcise their kids or walk after the customs. See, that's what it's saying. That's how they're different. There's two churches. And the multitude must come together. Not only are James and all the elders going to be there, the multitude, more even came in 22. And in verse 24, it's interesting. Watch this. They wanted Paul to do vows and to show that he keep the law. The end of 24 is that Paul himself keeps the law. In 25, it's interesting. The multitude that came together said in verse 25, the Gentiles which believe, they don't have to do anything. What was the context and end of 24? The law. What do? The Gentiles which believe, they just avoid four things. They avoid fornication, blood, things strangled, and things offered to idols. So they're not even enforcing that, the customs of Moses upon the Gentiles, like Feast of Passover, Sabbath worship, circumcision, kosher laws, So there's two churches in the New Testament, and it's word for word, like I said. Romans 16:4 talks about the churches of Gentiles, and Galatians 1:22 talks about the churches of Judea. And once you know there's two churches in the New Testament, you'll see when it starts talking about them by definition, how they're doing things that are different. And so this is like a major key to understanding the Bible. See you next time.